First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this would not be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Let's cook. By the way, happy birthday. You know what I mean? Excuse me, I don't like saying happy birthday. I'm going to say happy anniversary to yours truly, Low Nose Boxing. Anyway, before I go on with the rest of my festivities, I want to talk about a potential upcoming fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight that boxing needs right now. Gervonta Davis, despite being possibly the second most dominant fighter, consistent fighter in boxing right now, he has never defeated a pound-for-pound guy. Even though Tank Davis' resume has aged like top-of-the-line sangria from 1957. In other words, that joint aged very well. But unlike Teofimo Lopez, right, the other member of the Four Young Kings, Tank Davis has not defeated a pound-for-pound fighter. Enter Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is probably the most difficult style to deal with in boxing right now. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis is probably the biggest fight in boxing, the biggest fight closest to being made. That's the fight that needs to happen. And I have an amazing idea what can make that fight bigger, right? You ready for the gimmick? Here we go. Shakur Stevenson sort of took in the Ryan Garcia route in terms of he went from being, you know, the Olympian, the good guy, always smiling, sort of like the golden boy, sort of like a Sugar Ray Leonard type, you know. He turned himself into a heel by becoming Shakur Twitterson, right? By tweeting. People are turned off by his actions. People want to see Shakur Stevenson knocked out. All publicity is good publicity because now people are going to tune in to see Shakur, especially against a Gervonta Tank Davis, who sort of turned into like the media darling, the fighter that everybody wants to see. They like his story. He came from the bottom. He went through a struggle growing up as a kid, going through foster homes. He had the Mike Tyson effect, right? So if anybody that has a shot to knock out Shakur Stevenson, is Gervonta Davis. But if anybody has a shot to outbox Gervonta Davis, is Shakur Stevenson, which is what I'm going to get to right now. What Shakur Stevenson should do to take his newfound notoriety as far as recognition to a higher level, he needs to fully embrace the Puerto Rican fan base as of right now. Because based on my observation, most of the black fan base, the African-American fan base, has turned their backs on Shakur Stevenson, and they are fully riding with Gervonta Tank Davis, right? So with that being said, Shakur Stevenson, enter El Shakur. It's time for Shakur Stevenson to embrace his Puerto Rican side all the way. It's like in wrestling, right? When a wrestler goes from a good guy to a bad guy, it's called turning from face to a heel. Shakur Stevenson turned into a heel, but he could turn into what in wrestling is called a tweener. A tweener is a wrestler that dabbles in between being a face and a heel. In other words, a good guy and a bad guy. Sort of like Bret the Hitman Hart. Let me go into my wrestling historian bag, because yeah, I low nose wrestling too. Podcast on the way, but that's another one right there. Anyway, Bret the Hitman Hart turned into a bad guy, but whenever he was wrestling in front of Canadian fans, they catered to him. He was a good guy amongst Canadians. So Shakur Stevenson, being that he's a bad guy to most of the boxing fans, if he embraces the Puerto Rican fan base, he's going to be a Puerto Rican favorite. Because the truth is this, whether y'all want to crown Edgar Berlanga the next great Puerto Rican, whether y'all want to crown Subaru Matias the next great Puerto Rican, whether y'all want to crown Xander Zayas the next great Puerto Rican, the reality is El Shakur Stevenson is the only elite, pound for pound, Puerto Rican fighter active in boxing today. Yes, he's half Moreno Americano, but he has Puerto Rican blood. Shakur Stevenson needs to tap into that fan base because, and this is not a shot at anybody else, but unlike most other fan bases in boxing, unlike a lot of fan bases in boxing, us Puerto Ricans don't throw our fighters away. Shakur Stevenson becoming a full-fledged body will make the fight somewhat of a green print. Because now he's going to have more people tuned in. Not just the haters that want to see him knocked out, but the Puerto Rican fan base such as myself that are going to root for him. This fight has the potential to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. Gervonta Tank Davis, the mini Mike Tyson versus Shakur Stevenson. Let's get it. 2024, I'm talking this fight into existence. With that being said, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing, and it's my anniversary. And that's my, you know what I mean, Low Nose R&B too. Tato, and I'm out.